Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on.
Hello everybody. How are we doing tonight? My name is Pixel, and we are Ages of Ainur, and welcome to the 7th episode of Ages of Ainur Presents The Regent of Bedegar. We are back again with our bevy of Bedegarian adventurers, and we are super excited for this next episode. I'll be your Dungeon Master this evening for our show and our adventure, which can be found in the D&D 5e supplement Kingdoms and Warfare by MCDM, which... if you want to check out, the link should occasionally pop up in chat. So, very cool. If you like that kind of thing. As always, we're going to do the game here in just a few minutes. But before we do, quick announcement. You may notice everything looks a little different today. Unfortunately, one of our beloved adventurers, Taylor, who plays Enna, is not going to be able to be with us tonight. She's not feeling well. And we are super sorry to hear that, but we will soldier on regardless. So I kind of had to cobble all this together last minute. So all of our name tags look different and all that stuff, but we are soldiering on nevertheless. So just to sort of make everybody aware, next time you see Taylor, just, wish her well. She'll be back with us hopefully next time we play, which should be on the 24th, theoretically. So first things first, folks in chat. When we move on map screens, I don't think this is really going to come up, but you might see some DM secrets as I poke through the map screens or look at character sheets for enemies and stuff like that. So don't spoil those things for our friends at home playing the game, because they'll be hanging out with you guys in chat, trying to talk and enjoy the show with you. So don't spoil stuff. That would be bad. Secondly, please remember, D&D is a complex game with a lot of rules. We are improvising a story. I'm making half this stuff up anyway. Maybe not half of it. I'm making 12.5% of it up. And so I'm going to change stuff in this adventure, which none of you are familiar with, so I don't know why I bothered to tell you about it. But I'm also, but if you're in the YouTube comments, I'm changing stuff in the adventure, so you're on thin ice. Don't at me about any of that. We're trying to make a fun story for our particular characters, so I'm going to change things from the adventure to fit with their backstories and all those kinds of things. I also may forget parts of the rules of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. There's like 2,500 pages worth of rules for this between all the source material that's out. Nobody can keep all that crap in their head, least of all me. So if we screw something up, don't tell me about it. I don't want to know, and I don't care. Thirdly, we want to keep this space as open and welcoming as possible to the extent that we can on the internet, so we do try to keep that internet toxicity to a minimum. Never been a problem here, but we do like to just remind everybody that we won't be putting up with anyone being abusive or hateful in chat, whether that's to other viewers, whether that's to people on stream, regarding anything from, them and their personal lives to character choices, knowledge of the game or rules, anything like that. Just, no, don't do it. Look, I see you there thinking about doing it. Don't. Also, just a reminder, we do release this show on YouTube and on our podcast after each episode. We release it early on our Patreon, and we do then release it the following Wednesday after the show to the public on YouTube and on podcast. So if you want to get caught up, if you have to miss part of it, or you just love it so much that you want to watch it again, I'm not going to judge you. You can find that on our other social media feeds. And then, of course, as always, last thing before we get started, I'd like us to go around and cast. Please introduce yourselves and your characters, and remind us if you have chat inspiration. Bonus one.
Does it go to me first?
Yes.
I wasn't prepared and I don't have chat inspiration. I am Bonus Mom and I am playing Perdita, the Tabaxi Rogue, and I am so charmed to be here tonight and will enjoy the play very much.
Excellent. And Kyla.
Hiya, pals. I'm Kyla. I am playing Shanty, who's our water genasi druid and bard, and I am lacking chatspiration at the moment.
Excellent.
Thanks for being here.
And Daniel.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel. I'm playing Solomon, the Oath of Vengeance Paladin, and I do have chat inspiration.
Excellent. And Jesse.
Hello! I am Jesse. I am playing Silas, the Black Hand of someplace called Bedegar. Yes, I do have chat inspiration, but as always, I'm looking for DM inspiration as well, please. Please. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. And of course, last but not least, Beast. That rhymed. I didn't intend for that to happen, but it did. And we're all going to have to live with that.
Yeast. I don't know. I've just thrown out rhymes. Hi, everyone. I'm Beast. I play Razizkers, Tabaxi Valor Bard, and I'm very excited to have you with us. Taylor, we love and miss you. And we hope you tune in again next week so that you can see our wonderful missing cast member.
Excellent. And I, of course, as always, am Pixel. You can find me here on Ages of Einor doing these streams. We are streaming the Regent of Bedegar tonight. Next week, we'll be back with Curse of Strahd. And we bounce back and forth every week. And also, up and coming announcements, we are working on adding some other shows to our lineup. Some of which not run by me. Oh my God. Some that eventually I may not even really be all that involved in. So, yeah, not going to commit to any particular things right at this moment or hard dates or anything like that. But just know that those things are on the horizon. Something we've wanted to do for a long time is to kind of expand our lineup. And we have some things that are coming through the pipeline we're very excited about. So keep an eye out for those. You can also find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerandpixel, where sometimes I accidentally go live instead of over here, and also where I go play video games. We've been playing Breath of the Wild. I've also been playing some sci-fi games to sort of comb through them for ideas for our possible Stars Without Number streams that we are looking at. So lots of things on the horizon and lots of ways to come see me talk about nonsense if you want to do that for some reason, which apparently you do. Here you are. Without further ado, however, we see soft, dark leather shoes and the bottom hem of a forest green and aqua robe walking on flagstones as they cross a threshold into a dimly lit interior. Shortly after, the soft step of the light shoes is muffled even farther as they step into a plush red rug, covering the interior stone floor. In the shadows behind the shoes, we see beautifully worked, heavy wooden doors leading elsewhere into the building. We follow the shoes and the hem of the robes. After a few dozen steps across this plush red carpet, the shoes lightly tap onto marble tiles. We hear a heavy wooden door being pushed open as the shoes, and presumably the feet they are attached to, along with whosoever might be attached to those feet, once again cross into a new space. As they walk in front of massive marble columns, and the tapping is muffled again as they step onto another plush red rug for several dozen more steps. As they do, our perspective changes. We fall slightly behind the shoes and begin to pan slowly upward, seeing a figure in a gold, aqua, and green robe make its way into the room. Past them, we see a raised dais and can just make out bright plate mail boots and what must be the bottom of a throne. For the throne are three kneeling figures, One figure in shining armor trimmed with deep black metal. The figure kneels, hands rested on a wicked two-handed war maul. One figure in a flexible brigandine of dark blue, grasping a wicked bow. And one dark-skinned, bald figure with a shining gold and silver shield clasped before her. They face away from us towards the throne, heads bowed. We see no faces. As the shoes get further away from us, we begin to see more of their owner. They wear fine golden green robes, and dark hair cascades down their shoulders. The figure continues on towards the throne as the kneeling figures before. On towards the throne, towards the kneeling figures, before stopping and herself kneeling among the others. As she kneels, our view pulls back to reveal the occupant of the throne. A dusty, blonde, bearded man in bright silver armor sits on the throne and regards the kneeling figures as the new entrant speaks. I come bearing ill news, Highness. She has not responded to my sending.
What is the meaning of this? Does she mean to betray us?
I do not know, Highness. I am not sure my sending was even received.
Curses. She may mean to double-cross us. I should have known better than to trust a witch.
One of the other figures speaks up. I wonder, perhaps this has something to do with them?
Blasted rats! Pretending at nobility. Whether betrayal or meddling, we must know the truth of this.
The figure on the throne nods at the two figures who have spoken.
Go. Find out the truth. And if she means to betray us, you know what to do.
We hear shuffling as the figures begin to rise, and we see motes of dust flickering in a shaft of sunlight, coming into the room through a nearby tall window. The room behind the shaft of light wavers and blurs into light pouring into a dingy, moldy room at the bottom of a tower in Mistview. We see a blue young woman and a tall, white-haired man standing next to a long, defunct fireplace, releasing a quick handshake as their slightly battered companions enter the room from the stairs. And that is where we resume our tale. You have all just defeated and exorcised Caliga Lifebane, the Necromancer, depriving Lord Saxon of a valuable ally. You have found some treasure here, a Cloak of the Bat, a modest wizard spell book, a few coins, some potions, some correspondence. Roz stayed behind upstairs as the rest of you made your way down the tower, and Shanty and Solomon have just had a short conversation about zombies. So, what would you like to do?
Roz is atop the Necromancer's tower, and she is holding onto the weather vane, which is corroded with neglect, and unwrapping the turban scarf that she wraps her helmet in. She ties it to the weather vane, and the wind catches it, and it fluffs out behind her, revealing 6 diamonds of color. Black for Silas, white for Solomon, red for Enna, aqua for Shanty, purple for Perdita, and yellow, the color of piss, for Roz. She wants this to be a beacon, to be seen far and wide, so that everyone knows who was responsible for ending the beleaguered reign of Caliga Lifebane and restoring some measure of peace to this land. She wants everyone to know, anyone who can see it, that the Court of Rent was responsible. And purring to herself, she begins to roll forward on the dilapidated tiles of the roof, and doing a sort of front tumbling flip, she launches herself off the top of the tower and casts Featherfall, allowing her to drift harmlessly among the rest of her companions. Look up above. I shall fly our colors so that all may know the court of Ren has come to save them, that we are here to improve the lives of the people, and that we stand in defiance of any who would oppress. Come, take heart, companions. We make ourselves known this day.
Oh, Graz, you are such a showboat. But I like what you did. It looks so wonderful. And now I think we should get out of this place, lest those creatures from town come to follow us.
I second Perdita's suggestion to get out of here. This place is giving me the creeps.
Thirded, but that is so cool, Roz. I love that.
I stitched it myself.
It's beautiful.
Is it actually beautiful, or does it look crazy? Beast.
From the bottom of the tower, it's gorgeous. From the top of the tower up close, it is a hack job.
That's funny.
Graz, I hope your ears don't get cold.
Well, I suppose I shall have to put on my winter coat eventually. I must have already, since my armor barely fits anymore.
Yes, well, I know how that is. You know, if you would exercise more, if you would join me in the morning for the exercises that I do, we would soon take care of that. Look at me, I am so buff now, yes?
Oh, you are wasting away. We have to get some more ghoul in you.
I am muscle. I am muscle.
It's true. Perdita and I have been through a really rigorous training routine lately. Me, her, and Edmund have been really hammering it down. Do we need to avoid zombies? What is going on here?
Yes, we should leave. It is not appropriate to converse here.
I fear not. I do not look forward to the usurper discovering what we have done while we are still in this area. We must flee.
Is it a situation where we're going to have to sneak back through the town?
You'll have to find out.
Okay. I think that the people with heavy armor, we might want to do something about them. My idea would be to actually give Solomon, for now, my Cloak of the Bat. That way, instead of clanking around, you could plank around but way up high, and you could just fly over this shit. Because it is still nighttime, correct?
I honestly don't remember what time you guys attacked.
We started late afternoon. The sun was going down, if I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you know,
yeah, I mean, I think the shaft of light that was sort of coming in through the window was moonlight, and it had been really rainy, but when Caliga died, it sort of cleared up.
Okay.
And so this sort of like shaft of moonlight is illuminating the interior of this pretty dark room.
So with the cloak, you would have advantage on stealth checks in darkness, and you can just fly. So if you wanted, it'd probably be best if you just flew over it, but that would help out a lot. That way you don't have disadvantage.
Question. Can I use my divine sense to see if there's any undead around?
Sure. What is the distance on Divine Sense?
It is.
Is it like a mile?
No.
No, it's not that far.
The
let
ranger
me
thing
just,
is like 6
I'll
miles.
just
but-
slap it in chat there.
60 feet.
60
feet.
Not behind total cover. Yeah, I mean, so if you want to like move out of the, you'll get more mileage of it if you're not in the tower. That obviously, because most of the walls provide total cover. So right now, 60 feet away from like where you are towards the opening of the room or towards the door, right, where you can already see. But if you, make your way out of the tower a little ways, you can use it.
Okay, yeah,
It just won't do you
sure.
much good in here because it'll tell you what you already know, which is that no one's in here with you.
I'll wait till I leave the tower before I use it, and if I sense undead, I'll use the cloak.
Okay. All right. You make your way out of the tower, and you use your divine sense, and you do not detect any undead within 60 feet of you. And it lasts for an action, I think, right? It's like a
flash.
Yeah. You can use it a number
It's
of
like
times.
a
equal to
sonar
1 plus
blip.
charisma modifier. If everyone would make a perception check for me.
Ooh, not bad.
Hey, dirty
Ooh.
20's not bad.
Perdita rolled a 25.
Show off.
Who am I missing?
Solomon rolled a 5.
Gotcha. Yeah, sound off
It was
with what
me,
you
sorry.
rolled for the folks on the
14.
listening on the podcast. Okay, so Solomon got a 5. Silas got a 14. What about everybody else?
Roz got a dirty 20.
Perdita rolled a 25.
Shanty rolled a 21.
Excellent. Well, Perdita, Shanty, and Roz, you all actually notice in a few places keeled over undead, just sort of like lying, on the ground. Not like shambling around, not keeping guard, just like fully not moving.
Perhaps when we ended the life of Lifebane, so too did we end the unlife of the unliving.
Perdita would like to do a stealth roll and actually try to get close to one of the bodies to check to see if there is any semblance of life. But she would want to do it very stealthily.
Okay.
So do I give you a stealth check?
Yes, please give me a stealth check.
I rolled a 30.
Great. So all of the rest of you are kind of looking around for, and some of you see some of these zombies, and then Perdita just sort of like, as you look around again, Perdita's just gone. Perdita, you make your way over to one of these now bodies, and as you get closer, you can see fully disanimated. You kind of get close enough, it doesn't move for a minute. Eventually, maybe you get brave enough to poke it or something, and it just doesn't move at all. They are the undead horde of the former residents of Mistview are more or less laid to rest. Wherever they died, wherever they rolled over, you probably aren't going to have time to bury them all, but they have some sense of peace. They're no longer wandering their former streets, craving the blood, brains, and flesh of the living.
Can I light everything on fire?
I did say
Don't
it had
do
been
that.
heavily raining for quite a while.
Okay, you're right.
So,
Look, this is a
unfortunately,
good town. All right. This might just be my urban planner bias kicking in, but don't burn down something that's useful. All right. This is habitable space. Terraton just got its fields burned. There's probably some people who need homes. We'll figure it out when we get back
just
to
not to take away from the gravity of this situation, but just to meme this for a second, we have Roz standing against a gray background, looking out at a village where there are 400 random dead bodies lying in the street from where they fell, and it's
You
just
know
like
this would make a great timeshare.
it's free real estate, baby.
Well, Perdita does not take that attitude at all, and she is standing at the one dead body and looks down and looks around and says, Grâce et merci à la bon Dieu, and ducks her head in a form of honor, and then she begins to head away. Home.
Roz follows.
So does
So-
Shanty.
Solomon does the same.
Are we pokeballing Inna?
Yeah, I'm
Just-
just,
okay.
she's, I'll tell you right now, you're going to make your way home. There's nothing between here and Castle Rend that's going to be a problem.
Okay, cool.
So,
Okay.
Thank
you
you.
guys, the just to put a point on it here, the undead are all disanimated and lay wherever they fell for the time being. And you guys are going to be able to get back to Castle Rend. That little leg of your adventure is fully over here. Let's...
Except for Inna just T-posing in the tower, you know,
Right.
just...
fully T-posing. And she's
She's
not
just like
actually, she's not T-posing in the
AFK,
tower. She's T-posing about 2 feet off the ground and just hovering behind all of
Yeah.
you like a glitched out video game character.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it is going to take you a couple days to get back to Castle Rend. But these things, we don't really track days as you guys travel. We just assume that any given one of these adventures you guys go on takes about a week, more or less. Give or take, like
Fair
the
enough.
days you spend preparing, the days you spend debriefing at the end when you get back to Castle Rend. It's just, that's the kind of way that we're tracking time, which means, of course, that it is time for our next... I need to turn off these audios I'm using right now. That it is time for our
Spooky.
next...
Intrigue.
Intrigue turn. Hooray!
Are you intrigued?
Are you intrigued?
Go.
So
We'll fix that in post. You can cut that out.
that's fine. Okay, so you guys need to decide what you would like to do for this intrigue turn. I believe you had some ideas of what you had wanted to do. I think you were planning to maybe try to raise another unit, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not 100% sure. What do you want to do?
So
Yeah.
So,
Me go back.
let's point of clarity. We're not deciding what the next adventure we're going on. We're deciding what
Right.
we're doing with our intrigue turn and the available options. Well, first of all, we can pick one of us to use our proficiency die, right?
Correct.
So
far, the people who have used their proficiency die are Silas, Perdita, and Solomon have all used your proficiency die.
cool.
So,
So-
Roz, Enna, and Shanty have not.
And then we can take essentially like an action and a bonus action kind of thing, right?
Yes. And you can only use bonus actions if you have something that lets you use a bonus action, which
Which is, I think,
I
our
don't think you have anything left that will do that. Skilled Negotiators is a bonus action, but you don't really have anyone to diplomacy with because you've already got the orcs and you've already got Dalrath on your side. And then Backdoor Negotiations is a reaction, which happens when an opposed unit gains a special unit from an NPC realm, which won't happen unless that's what
what
the
Saxon
other people
does?
do. But
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
So our remaining actions are volunteer blacksmiths, which will, as a domain action, we make a DC 13 operations test. On a success, any levies we muster before the end of that intrigue start with heavy equipment, which is kind of insane because usually levies don't have any equipment. So it's very cost effective and we can get 2 of them. And then we could attempt to do some sort of counter thing.
Well, if you do volunteer blacksmith, that will be your only action for this turn, because you can't do skilled negotiators because you don't have anyone else to negotiate with.
Got it.
And then backdoor negotiations is a reaction that only happens if if the usurper tries to do a particular thing, which is to get a unit from another place, which you kind of know the only place he could have done that from was the necromancer you just killed. So, so
We did it.
basically, if you want to
job,
do
team.
volunteer,
Huzzah.
if you want to try to do volunteer blacksmiths, and then spend your next, I think you'd have 2 more turns after that raising levies. Those would be so you'd be able to get that and like 4 levies, or that and 1 more levy, but like the volunteer blacksmiths is an action. So,
and I think it only applies to this turn of intrigue.
No, it doesn't. It's before the end of intrigue, and intrigue is the whole until you fight the guys, right? And I think when you raise levies, you raise 2 at a time, so you could raise up to 4 total, or you could. But I know you guys also have talked about maybe needing some more more cavalry. Currently, the only ones you have are the old guard, I think.
No, we also have the Dalrath, the Hounds of Dalrath.
So then again, or maybe it was archers you wanted.
Oh, and the Lancers. We mustered.
You mustered the Lancers. Actually, you've got plenty of cavalry. What you're a little light on might be artillery.
That's right.
But you are going to entreat with the elves. If that's successful, you might get some artillery out of it. But that also is predicated on that journey being successful as well. So.
Question: do we get our health and spell slots back?
Yes. Before we do anything else, you will. It'll be next week by the time you set out for your next adventure thing.
Cool.
So, you will have plenty of time for a long rest. Everyone will go into that fully prepped and ready. Fully plept and ready.
Plept and ready.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So, and then you also can do other things with your action. You can attempt to attack your opponent's defenses, or raise your own defenses, all of which grant you different kinds of bonuses when the battle starts. You would know that the last couple of things that Saxton's crew has done has been to raise some of their own defenses. So, and they've done that the last 2 turns. And then
am I remembering right
you,
that the benefits that you would get are based on the differences between ours and theirs?
No.
Okay.
The benefits that you guys get from the defenses, every bit that your defense is higher on a particular setting. So you have, what is it? Communications, resolve, and resources are your defenses. So and each of them have like +1, +2, or +3, right? And they're cumulative benefits. So let's say you get +1 resolve. That gives you like a particular benefit to your units when the battle starts. And alternatively, if you lower their defenses, let's say you lower their communication, that gives them a particular deficit when the battle starts, right? So if you get your, like I said, resolve up to level 1, that means the speed of each of your domain's officers increases by 10 feet during the first round of combat against officers of the opposed domain. Which means when you're doing D&D combat against the enemy officers in the final battle, you'll all be able to move farther, right? Versus if you break their communications, at the end of the next deployment, the opposed domain chooses one of this domain's units in any rank and moves it to any adjacent space. So you basically get their people out of formation, sort of implying that you've scrambled and hacked their communications, right? So it's a little bit esoteric to keep all in your brain, but those are options you guys can take as well. And you know that currently Saxton's group has raised one of their defenses, you don't know which, by 2. And then you also would know, because I think you know this, that they then used a power that they had, which I didn't tell you guys about previously. This is the first time you're hearing about it. But they have a power called Readiness is All, where if their resources level 2 or higher at the start of a battle, or at the start of a... Oh, no, it happens at the start of a battle. Never mind, you don't know what this is. So something else will happen when a fight starts, but that's a problem.
So we can attempt to muster troops.
Yeah.
We can attempt to attack their defenses. We can attempt to raise our own.
Correct.
And we can have the last sort of specific ability that our noble court has access to that we could use as volunteer blacksmiths.
Yes.
What are we thinking, folks?
And we have to pick one of those things?
Yes, you have to pick one of those things to do on this turn. I will also tell you, you guys have already a pretty huge amount of allied units who have joined you. You have the crew, the Unbreakable, and the Hounds of Dalrath, and those are all either the crew is from the Clock, the Unbreakable are from the Orcs, the White Tusks, and the Hounds of Dalrath are from the Baron of Dalrath. Right. And then you have your own units. You have the Blue Dragonflight, the Hisker's Band, Solomon Soldiers, 1 unit of Orin's Rangers, the Old Guard, and the Lancers. So you got like 9 units floating around.
Yeah, we almost don't even have to use a volunteer blacksmiths to round out our numbers.
I will say, because and I know this is like a lot of esoteric. Yeah, we haven't done this in a while. The other thing to keep in mind is when it comes to warfare, right? Looking at like a small or medium-sized battle, right? Like building an army. Like 6 units is the smallest fieldable set of units, right? If you have like 3 tier 1, 2 tier 2, and a tier 3 unit, that's like 6 units. That's like the smallest army that you would realistically have. So you guys are already in kind of like a mid-tier size of an army. You can keep pumping those numbers up and just try to run them over with raw numbers, or you could try to get creative and start attacking their defenses and bolstering your own. So it is fully up to you what you want to do. You just kind of got to decide.
Where are we having this discussion? Would
Castle
this
Rend.
be back?
Yeah,
back
so
at Castle
this would
Rend
be
around the table.
Yeah, this is back at Castle Rend. You're having your sort of war council around the, around the big table in the Great Hall, sort of discussing what you.
And how would we be getting our information of what he is doing? The few things that we know.
So basically, in fiction, it's the Clock. More or less, what the rules actually say here is that these are big organizations that everybody kind of knows what they're doing. Like, you can't begin to muster troops and begin to do this stuff. Like, if all of a sudden the Crown orders 500 more swords or 30 more horseshoes, everybody knows that they're mustering cavalry or raising infantry, right? Like, people just kind of, you got to put in work orders for stuff, and people begin to know what you're doing. And so everybody knows what everybody is doing, except the only real caveat to that is if you're raising your own defenses, Saxton won't know which defenses you have raised unless he does an espionage test against you.
Then I think that Perdita would stand up and lean across the table a bit and say, we have information that he is. And she spits when she says Lord Saxton, with a hiss, is raising his abilities, and they're going to come after us. We must be sure that our defenses are good. Elster always used to say that you must be the safest at home because it is the dearest part of it all to you. So I would think we should improve our defenses. And she sits down.
I agree.
Yeah.
I did have questions about the centaurs and the Elgin Woad. We had a connection with Twilight. Do we want to try to explore that further?
Yeah, so that would be the next party action. Maybe, if that's what you guys want to do. I think that's what you had kind of talked about doing.
Okay,
so,
right.
We're sort of separating. Okay, there's like the next little adventure the party goes on, and then there's the next
like the
mechanical
the
intrigue
narrative
turn that the party's organization takes. So you imagine it like this, right? You guys are saying, okay, we're going to go to the Gol Stone that Twilight told us about and look into this whole Elgin White situation, right? And then you look at Gear and the Prince and the Clock folks, Two Buckle, and you're like, all right, you guys, while we're gone, go muster our defenses in this way, or raise a unit in this way, or go do a covert mission and attack Saxon's defenses like this, and you sort of send them kind of off to do that while you do more important stuff, which is like big negotiations and, dealing with big monsters that your other people can't deal with and that kind of stuff, right?
Then yeah,
Fair
I agree.
enough.
Raising defenses, and as part of that, does that give us our blacksmiths?
No, those are separate
No.
things. That would be even more.
Yeah, we would have to do that on a subsequent thing.
What do you guys think? Blacksmiths first or defenses first?
I think because there's still turns where they could do some sort of espionage stuff against us, we might be better raising our defenses now. And then doing the blacksmiths. We honestly, and that's the thing, is like we don't even really need the blacksmiths because we have a very robust army. We can spend turns upgrading our units with money and time. So we don't necessarily need more cheap units that have heavy armor.
So you can't do anything to alter your gifted units or your allied units, but you do have plenty of your own, right? You've got the Hiskersman and Solomon soldiers and all of those guys. The things you couldn't upgrade would be the Lancers, the Hounds of Dalarath, the Unbreakable, and the crew. And the other thing is that a lot, like, there's also the Elves and the Elgin White, that if your missions are successful to go request their aid, they may also give you even more units, right? So,
2 levies is not going to make that much of a difference if we get like 1 elite archer or something.
And I know this gets a little bit in the weeds, but why don't we talk a tiny bit about what raising the defenses will get you? Okay, I'm not going to go into every single detail, right? But you have 3 defenses: communications, resolve, and resources. So when you raise your communications, you can, at the end of deployment, you can like move an extra unit somewhere, right? So in the same way that like if you damaged theirs, you get to like, and deployment is when you put all your warfare guys on the board, right? And everybody's looking at it. If anybody has positive communications level 1, you get to like take an extra one of your guys and move them to like an adjacent space, right? Which means you might be able to jostle and get a slightly better positioning because you put things on the board slightly in reaction to each other, right? And so if you get 1 extra move at the end to like get into a better position, that's, versus if you damage their communications and it's at -1, then at the beginning of the next battle, you get to take one of their pieces and move it, jostling it out of position. And if you were at +1 and they were at -1, you'd get to do both. Does that make sense? Right?
Got it.
And if you go to level 2, you can do that again. Like, so at level 2, at the end of the next deployment, you choose any 2 allied units and in any rank and swap those units. And then you also get the level 1, I think it's cumulative. So you basically would get to move like 3 of their units or 3 of your own units, just, and then, and so on and so forth. So basically communications has to do with when you get onto the battle, you can tactically move stuff right at the last minute, either for yourself or against your enemy, depending on whose defenses are where, right? But if they get their defenses up in communications and yours down, they'll do the same thing to you, right? So it's like a little bit of a... Okay, so that's what communications gets you. It has to do with tactical movement at the very last minute on the battlefield. Resolve actually gives you guys bonuses when you go to fight their officers. So everything in the resolve column has to do with either giving you bonuses or giving you, or giving them debuffs to when you go to fight that final battle with their officers and kill Saxton, you'll either get bonuses or debuffs based on where people's resolves are at. Okay. So for instance, like I said, resolve level 1, you all get to move an extra 10 feet in the first round of combat to tactically get yourself into a better position to fight them. If their resolve is dropped, their speed decreases by 5 feet in the first round of combat. So they can't move as far or as well. If you get it up to level 2, it's like as a reaction when they start their turn in the first round of combat, you can make an extra attack. So it's almost giving you like a legendary action kind of, right? And everything in the resolve category does something kind of like that. It gives you combat bonuses versus their officers. And then the resources defense is more like the communications one. So if you raise your resources, then each of your infantry units have advantage on power tests until the end of the first round of battle, right? If you lower their resources, then their artillery units have disadvantage on morale and command tests until the end of the first round of battle, right? So it kind of... And again,
Okay.
it's cumulative in that way as well. So it's like if you raise your resource level really high, you can get really great bonuses. If you drop it, So just to give you a sense of like what kind of benefits you get from those things versus let me just throw more enemies on the field, which also is good. You know what I mean? Like, so I know it gets a little esoteric, but I want to give you a sense of like
all good.
what the benefits are.
I think we would benefit from raising our resources.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'll put that. Let me just put that in chat for you guys.
Well,
Actually,
you
I'll
know-
put the whole thing in chat here if you guys don't have the PDF up. That is everything that the resources tree does. So booming is +3, the best possible resources you could have, all the way to bankrupt, which is the worst possible resources you could have. And there's 3 turns left. So either side, if you spent all of your turns attacking each other or boosting yourself, could theoretically get all the way in one of these directions or the other. So.
Cool.
Yeah, so what I'm worried about is if our defenses get attacked, then we're going to have some pretty nasty penalties. So raising them, even just one, to sort of offset that, I think would be in our favor. And then, it might not happen, and then we can get a benefit out of it.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
Okay.
I also agree, but I do think we should attack their resolve at some point.
That too.
Yeah, I did sort of
Yeah.
let slip that they have high resolve because I screwed up that, but that's okay. I'll give you that as a freebie. That's on me.
I agree with both things, and I know that I don't know. I also just kind of wrote down all the units and what we have, and I don't know. I think at some point it would behoove us to maybe figure out something with archers at some point as well. I know we didn't necessarily want to focus on enemies on the field for now, but we just have a whole lot of infantry, which is great.
Right.
But we're kind of lacking in that other area for range as well. So
Yeah, and I get some bonuses for archers with some abilities we talked about at one point.
Yeah, that is I think that's part of your title.
I think so. Something like that. So, yes. Yeah, I agree. Archers definitely. The Elgin Whites were a cavalry unit. Is that correct?
You do not know.
Centaurs.
You don't know what you'll get.
Right.
They are elk centaur creatures, but as to what they will give you, you wouldn't know. And it would probably take a lore test to determine that, and you don't really have a turn to spend on a lore test. I think you'd have to use a turn to make one, so I don't think that you'd be able to.
I'm happy with the decision to raise resources. Sorry, I'm phrasing that stupid, but yes.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that decision for now. Yes, absolutely.
And we do still have 2 more turns to muster troops.
Right.
If we wanted to build in some more artillery that way, if we just can't get more from somewhere else.
fair enough. Okay.
Agreed.
Okay,
Alright,
so are
so-
you
Good.
so Sorry, I
Sounds
didn't
like-
hear that. What's the plan?
It sounds like we're attempting to raise our resources.
Okay, raise your resources. So in order to do that, what you're going to have to do is choose one of your domain skills to use in order to do that. And you are going to have to make a check that I will tell you what the DC of is here in a second. Okay, hang on.
Well, diplomacy is our best, so perhaps some of Saxton's enemies wouldn't mind slipping us a little food.
Yeah, so the DC is going to be 13 plus your defense's current level, and your current level is 0. So you would have to make a skill test of a DC 13 using one of your skills. The other thing you kind of have to do is they don't necessarily set out like which things can be improved by which skills. If you can think of a reasonable way to use a given skill to raise a particular one of your defenses. I would certainly see, if you're looking, you said resources, operations would clearly be a way to do that, right? You could just have your people go, I don't know, collect a levy or a donation, or maybe they could attack an enemy and, an enemy supply convoy. That's like, we can imagine all of those things, and we don't necessarily have to pick exactly what, but like operations, I would say, is a pretty straightforward way to do that. If that makes sense. Some of the rest of them you'd have to sell me on. Does that make sense? If you're trying to use lore to make extra, resources, I'd be like, all right, well, how do you plan to do that exactly, right?
Fair enough.
I would like to float, if everyone's okay with Roz taking her turn with the intrigue, that she's willing to go on a diplomatic mission on behalf of the Court of Rend to request stuff. And I think maybe the best person to do that is Dalrath.
I agree. I actually would like to have, in this time, made a copy of the Erland intelligence report that we got.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm sorry. That wasn't it. It was the we got a bunch of paper that essentially proved that Dalrath was about to be invaded by
I think that's the intelligence report.
Was that on the intelligence?
I think what you got were the communications. There was a list of communications between Dalrath and the Necromancer. I know you found that in the Necromancer's tower. Let me go take a look and see. And it basically said they were working together. And that she was going to give him a unit. Let's see.
Dalrath and the Necromancer, or Saxton?
Saxton and the Necromancer. I'm sorry. Yeah, I said the wrong
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Okay,
So I definitely want to send that, or at least a copy of that, through the diplomat's pouch to Dalrath. Just kind of proving why we just kind of hit on this random tower. And I thought it said something about them organizing against Dalrath, but I could be mistaken.
I think maybe the organizing against Dalrath is just kind of how you convinced him in the first place, because you did a really successful persuasion test on your downtime activities between the two adventures. And I think you basically convinced him, look, this guy's power hungry, and if he fully consolidates things in Bedegar, he's probably going to come after you. And I think that's how we flavored that.
Proxy war.
Okay. So here's the other thing I will tell you. You will not be able to travel physically to Dalrath in the amount of time that you have. If you were to leave now, by the time you got back from Dalrath, the war would be over.
Well, but that's what the diplomat's pouch is for.
But that's what the diplomat's pouch is for, right? So you could petition aid. Raise your resources. Here's what I'm going to say is that, like, because of the distance between the two places, it would also take him some either amount of time or magic to get your resources to you in time, right? let me go look at, because I want to get a sense of the distance between these two places. Let's go look at, I know we're getting way in the weeds here, but you know what?
Would,
This is
would it be
organization level
possible
play.
for me to take a brief break while you are doing that?
Sure.
Could Perdita be excused?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah, that's
200 miles
heckin'
away,
far.
right? So you could travel a max of like 20 miles a day through good terrain.
Oh, what about Black Bottom?
Yeah, you could maybe ask someone in Black Bottom, although Black Bottom
home
is,
sweet home.
you don't know that, I don't know that you have like, Dalrath clearly has the resources to be effective on that scale. Some of you guys have allies in Black Bottom, but you not like there's not a political structure that's capable of necessarily influencing a war. What I'm getting at here is simply that I think I would raise the DC a little bit in order to get something effective. Does that make sense? Because it's like you're kind of going for the
Right. So
you're going for the
diplomacy is a
diplomacy
hard
option
sell,
because that's your best
is what you
bonus.
said.
But it's like, unless you can really sell me why, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at this saying, like, situationally, I'll allow that, but it's harder than let me just collect some taxes from the people in Gravesford, right? You know what I mean? So that's the kind of scale that we're looking at. It's possible, sure, certainly, right? And I think you could get somebody, you know, with it being 200 miles, much of it through forest and waste, right? To Dalrath from here, like at 20 miles a day, that's 10 days. Like that's cutting it close to the battle if he sends it right now, right?
Right.
Luckily, he started sending you his cavalry weeks ago, right? So, yeah, it would probably be, I almost feel like a +3 to the DC, like it'd be like a
16.
DC 15 or 16 check versus a DC 13. So,
well, we could do.
But that is
do
fully. I don't want to
operations.
discourage you, but I just want to say, like, looking at the situation, that's what I feel like is, you know, reasonable.
Well, if we did more of like an operations test, what we would just like go shopping.
Basically, like you would send your people out to maybe like collect donations or to muster volunteers or, you know,
I got it.
that kind of stuff.
Roz is going to send the Hiskers band traveling in various clusters and groups of mummers, dancers, performers in order to solicit one to raise money along the way, and then two to buy a bunch of supplies and bring them back.
Are they being
How's that?
obvious about? I like it. Are they being obvious about who they're working for?
The Hiskers band? I mean, I don't think. Does anyone associate Tabaxi with the Court of Rend yet?
I mean, you did have the Yowling Commandos in the last fight.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll tell you, like, there's not any shady thing where they're going to get ambushed. Like, that's not really how the intrigue works, right? Like, he can't just be like, oh, they're roaming around my territory. Well, let's kill them. It's like, in the same way that you guys can kind of move freely because it's a big territory and he doesn't have enough troops to police every inch of it, they'll be able to kind of do what they need to do. And that's not mechanically, it's not really a concern, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Do we need to fund them with the resources that we got from the necromancer?
No, they'll earn their way. That's they're performers and everything. They'll I think a lot of bards have like some kind of ability or like class feature. It lets them like earn money in bars and stuff.
For the skill test,
Mhm.
you will be using operations, and you can add your proficiency to that roll for operations if your character is proficient in either athletics or insight, I think it is. So if Roz is proficient in athletics or insight, you can add your thing. If not, you could have someone else use their proficiency on this.
I've already used mine.
Yeah, that would be basically the other option is Shanty because Anna's not here. And we can't use her proficiency when she's not here.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
No, I'm You said athletics?
Athletics or insight.
I do have athletics. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, nice.
Then you can roll, and what you'll do is it's your proficiency bonus plus you guys' operations is a +2. So that's going to be a total of +6, and you're looking to beat a 13.
And I just have roll a d20?
Roll a d20 +6, yeah.
Here we go.
And you can use inspiration if you have it.
Oh,
Should you,
You don't need it.
or luck, or
Whew.
any of those things if you have them and need them. So
that's a 19,
That's
son.
19
Whew.
plus 6.
Nice.
26.
plus 6. Okay.
Awesome.
Go forth,
So
ye
you
scourge
guys'
men.
resources skill is not resources skill, but resources defense is increased by 1 level.
So,
Where do we note that? You do it?
I
or
noted it
It's on
for
the
you on
party
your party
sheet.
sheet. I got it already
on the
for
party sheet.
it's already
Okay.
there. Nice.
So-
While everyone is meeting at the large table, Silas pulls out a long tube and looks to Roz before he sends the Hiskers band out and says, I took what you've done and I have made it official. And he rolls out a long flag that I'm actually sending to you guys right now in chat.
What?
We have a banner, y'all.
What?
There are two additional diamonds you may notice. One gray and one blue. Sky blue. And he said, for those who are not here, but will return to us one day, for Soren and Farron, there are 2 extra diamonds. You will see they're arranged in a circle with a fist in the center on a plane of white. And I put that in the message on Zoom, and I also sent it. I sent it to you, Pixel, in Discord.
Very good.
So-
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna
So
try and see if I
cool.
can get that onto the stream somehow. Give me a moment.
Yeah,
Now
no
tell
worries.
me again what the 2 extra things are for.
For
there
Farron
are-
and Soren.
Yeah, there are 8 diamonds.
Oh,
The 8 diamonds now. Yeah, black, yellow, white, purple, aqua, red, gray, and sky blue.
Okay.
That is
so cool.
perfection.
I love that.
If everybody's okay with that, that will be the flag of Rend.
Love it.
I am not crying. I just have something in my eye.
Okay.
You're not crying because there's not a paw on it, are you, Roz?
It's a beautiful yellow, Silas.
It is a much prettier yellow than that other yellow that Roz
Yes, let me-
has.
can I?
Oh, I love it.
So cool.
Oh, that's great.
Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get this.
As soon as you said it, I was like, I can Photoshop that, I bet.
Oh, you did great. That is fabulous.
Okay.
That's perfect.
That
All right,
looks
friends.
awesome.
I'm gonna just. Right.
No.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Okay, there you go. That is. I'm trying to get it to where folks on stream can see it. So that is the flag of Rend. Very cool. That's super rad. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So you have raised your resources defense, and now let me see some things. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Okay. I believe this round Saxon is going to attempt to muster a unit. Let me
Boo.
see. Boo.
Boo Saxton the usurper. Boo.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, which I believe is going to be an operations test for him.
Fail.
Oh, actually, he doesn't really. It says an operations test is not required unless the GM feels there's a chance the mustering might fail. So actually, he can just muster it.
Cheat. You cheat.
Listen. You would
The
just be able
cards
to
are
muster
stacked
units
against us, folks.
Okay, so he is going to muster a unit. And I don't think you know what type of unit, or do you? Hang on, guys. I have to look up. There's a lot to these rules, I'll tell you.
So, well, for our next adventure, we're thinking of doing the Gol Stone connect with the Elden Lights. Is that what everyone's feeling?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah. And Twilight is probably our in there, right?
Do we want to wait to do that and instead deal with the elves? Given that our dear sweet Enna is not here to flirt with our beloved Twilight.
Well, yes, but also Enna might be our way into the elves as well. Because Silas is not super popular with the elves. He's kind of seen sometimes as a cultural appropriator, I guess it would be.
The Blade song.
The Blade song did not make him popular as a youth. Yeah. So
that'd be like if I got famous for belly dancing.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so they have mustered a unit. You don't know what type of unit or what power level it's at, but they did muster a new unit.
Is it over 9,000?
Yes.
We'll see myself out. Thank you.
It's so strong that it will make you constipated. So.
Yikes.
Okay.
Great news for diarrhea sufferers. Just saying. Silver linings.
And honestly, they don't get a lot of great news. So. There's not much of a silver lining or a stomach lining there. Anyway, okay.
And we're back.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry about it.
We really won't. I don't go through these things that carefully.
This isn't live, right?
It is live, yeah. Okay, so that is the action turn, the intrigue turn. So the next question we have, is there any sort of role play stuff that you guys want to do while you're back at Castle Rend? You have access to all the NPCs who are normally here. That would be Two Buckle. That would be the leader of the clock, whose name is currently escaping me. Zola Honeycutt is here. Twilight is here. Gear and Orin are here. You could get to Gravesford and back. So if there's any Gravesford NPCs you want to talk to, or each other, Edmund is here. Garx Brooks is here. There's a lot of different stuff. So it's up to you guys if there's anything you want to do with any NPCs or each other, any scenes that need to happen, or we can jump straight into that next little leg of the journey.
Is Garx still a treasure chest?
I think most of the time, yeah.
Okay. I would ask that he turns into something a little more inconspicuous, like a coat rack or like a hat rack or something, and just stay by the door. Specifically, if possible, in like one of the offices. That way, if somebody comes over and we don't like them that much, Garx could be their chair, maybe.
Boss.
Oh my God.
I like the way you think. And Garx, okay, so where do you want him to go? Do you want him to go into... So, the layout of Castle Rend, there's the big doorway leading into kind of the atrium you guys fought in, right? There's the chapel. There's like two doors kind of back up against the front of the building that have arrow slits so you can shoot out. There's like two doors on the other side, and then there's the tower on this side. And then there's like the room, the great hall with the table, and like a suite of rooms, in the corner. Do you want it to be in one of these like front rooms that like maybe Silas set up as sort of his office?
Where are we usually having meetings with like either opposition or people we
probably the Great Hall? There's not a ton of
Hall.
other meeting rooms, so
yeah, make him a chair around the big table.
That's right. One end is kind of Silas and Edmund's chair, and the other end is the opposition's chair.
Okay, yeah.
And Garx is that chair.
Great. Yeah, so Garx gets
chair.
in there, and you guys warn everybody that everybody in the crew, in your group, not to sit on Garx. It also makes him really easy to feed table scraps too, so that's convenient
Super
as well.
easy.
That's so fun.
Garx is out here just living his best life. And he says, it's the first place I've ever been where they invited me to eat in the dining room like I was family.
Oh, you are
It means a
family,
lot.
Garx.
You're the best friends I've had since I was swallowed by that whale. on the astral plane.
You learn common like incredibly fast. I'm super impressed by you.
Yeah, I'm thousands of years old.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
How big do you guys usually get?
I mean, it varies, sometimes you gain a little, sometimes you lose a little.
If we keep feeding you, do you think we could turn you into like a barn and then?
I think possibly over the course of like a human lifetime, if I'm consistently fed, I think that would be a realistic possibility. But most of the time, adventurers try to kill you and you end up as like little fractions, like a worm that can regrow, and you end up as like a little fraction. Right.
Stick with us and you'll be a barn mimic before you know it.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. And then somebody like throws him like a chicken leg bone and he like snatches it out of the air with his
I was going to say, Roz throws him a sausage.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are we eating right now?
Awesome.
Because I'm pretty sure Shanty's just going to like dump her whole plate. Just serious all for you.
And you
That's
do see
hilarious.
he's like a couple centimeters bigger now than he was when we started this. Okay. So yeah, you have assigned Garx Brooks to the seat at the foot of the table, just in case any visiting dignitaries need to get their ass chewed off. And what else? Are we ready for the Gol Stone, or is there anything else you guys want to do here in Rend?
Setting traps. That's a great question.
Well,
I want to look through the spell book for sure, but I can do that
okay.
at any time.
Yeah.
well, and Perdita would just be exercising and working out and messing with her tail to make it stronger every minute that she's not doing something else.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, you do have Caliga Lifebane's spell book. It has, I don't know, 10 spells in it, some of which I don't think you can even cast yet.
That's all right.
Got up to 5th level spells in it.
I'm collecting goofy shit all the time, so that's great.
Yeah. So there's plenty of good stuff in there. But it will, the other thing is, if you want to copy those things into your spell book, it takes time and gold per the PHB. Yeah. So just make sure that you have the requisite stuff. And you're welcome to do that.
How do I see those real quick?
It's in the handout, I think.
How do you see the spells?
It is, unfortunately, it's not on the handbook, on the handout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I put that in the GM notes. I'll put it in the regular notes.
Oh, it's just a picture of a book.
Yeah, now that you've looked at it, I'll put it in the... My bad. Now that you've looked at it, I'll put it in the main notes.
I open the book and it's a picture of itself.
It's a picture of a book.
Right.
It's just all pictures of books.
It turns out I can't read.
Yeah.
It got real Spaceballs all of a sudden. You know that scene where they're watching Spaceball? Anyway, it's fine.
It's just,
Yeah. Okay, so I put it in there.
Awesome.
You should be able to see those. And then it for all of the, and I guess for every school, because you're not a school of wizard, because you're a Bladesong instead, it costs like 100 gold per spell level and like an hour per spell level or something.
Yeah, it's going to take me a minute.
So
okay. Great. Did we add money from the last time?
Each level of the spell costs 2 hours and 50 gold. So a 4th level spell would cost 200 gold.
Did we split up the cash from the last
You did
thing,
not.
or we put
There
are
was
we
a total
putting
of
that
500
in the
gold, and you have not split it up. It is up to you guys what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
I think we're doing like a common fund, right?
It's up to
Well,
you.
but does Silas not have money of it if he needs it?
I have some. I just didn't know if we were splitting.
Well,
it, so.
all we did is we parked the $500 with me, the 500 gold pieces with me for the moment, and I put it, excuse me, for being out of character on my my character sheet, but not with my stuff.
I'm happy to shove that in the chest and call it party fun. That's fine with me.
Those are our archers right there.
That's
I
true.
agree.
yeah, absolutely.
That is absolutely true.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds great.
All right. Anything else y'all are up to before you head on to the Gol Stone?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So you guys make your way to the Gol Stone, which is actually quite close to Rend. This is basically a series of standing stones that have been erected a long since past. There are various stories about them. You know, but this is where Twilight told you that there was someone who might be able to take you to the Elgin Whites, which is odd because the Elgin Woad is a pretty long distance away from here. But, you know, you trust Twilight. It seems her intel is good. And so you make your way to the Gol Stone. Let me switch over to this cam. And nope, don't do that. Whoop, sorry. As you make your way, you approach sort of a small hill that is topped with these stones. There's sort of a stone archway in the middle, and then there are these sort of monolith obelisks in sort of a ring around it. There are about 8 or so of them. A couple of them have toppled over just from age. And you make your way to this stone. And you actually see, sitting near these arches, sort of cross-legged on the ground, facing the arches as you approach, you come across the back of an individual.
Look there. It is the back of an individual.
Yeah. This individual is wearing sort of dull grayish, greenish, brownish kind of robes, weathered and torn. There are sort of some like fur on a cloak that he's wearing along his shoulders.
Is that you, Orin?
No, it's very different from Orin. He is sitting sort of cross-legged, and you can see sort of a gnarled greenish wooden staff with like a leather kind of hand wrapping that have some brightly colored beads woven into it. You see pointed ears, and you see sort of sprawled down his back is very sort of grayed dreadlocks, and you can see just from the skin tone on his ears that he's a very dark-skinned individual, sort of sitting there cross-legged, meditating at the stone. What would you like to do?
Roz approaches from a respectful distance, probably like 10, 15 feet back.
Excuse me, we are looking for someone who is supposed to meet us here. Have you seen anyone else?
He sort of like takes a deep breath and unwinds and stands, and is quite a tall individual. As he turns around, Shanty.
Yes.
You know this man.
Oh.
A distant memory, a bad one, surfaces in your mind as you stare at this individual that you have not seen in many years.
I think I'm immediately going to pull out my quarterstaff.
Okay. Yeah, he turns around, starting to look friendly, and sees you make an insight check. As you, and I'm going to say make it with disadvantage.
Okay.
As you turn and draw your staff.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. That's
got
funny.
a 4.
That's a, well, yeah. Okay, yeah, we can take the 14. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I wasn't quite sure how.
Yeah, that's okay. So it rolls 2 numbers because it rolls with advantage and disadvantage anyway. And if you don't have advantage or disadvantage, we just take the left number. So if you
sweet.
so you just have to roll once, but that's all right. We'll take the 14.
Heard. Okay.
Yeah, I think with the 14, I think you're a little too blinded by these memories as you draw your quarterstaff, and he sort of gets an odd look on his face as he looks at you, and then readies his staff as well, and says, "What is the meaning of this?"
I was simply asking if you had seen anyone, but I am sorry to bother.
Roz turns around, sees Shanty.
Oh, don't worry. It's just some vagrant.
This is not some vagrant. What are you doing here? How are you here?
That's a curious question.
Shanty, you know him.
Believe so. Do you happen to... Go ahead.
Perdita would like to see what is going on. She's very close to Shanti, and if Shanti is in an attitude like that, I think Perdita would take notice seriously, and perhaps would take a more aggressive stance also in support of Shanti.
Did you happen to have a young apprentice some years back? Maybe looked a little like me, but smaller?
So it is you. Why do you brandish a staff at me?
Why shouldn't I brandish a staff at you? The cause of much suffering in my childhood, and I don't... I think Shanty's just going to like start shivering and just kind of start to shut down.
Yeah, why shouldn't we brandish the staff at him? You, sir, have upset one of my companions. I am distrustful, and I continue to wait for someone else to show up.
If you have been sent here, I am the one you seek.
That can't be possible. And I think she'll just like, not sure where we are in the order, but she'll just start shrinking back more and more and more, like collapsing in on herself, less resolve while she's holding on to the staff.
Silas is going to put a hand on Shanty's shoulder and just whisper, "Are you okay? Who is this person?"
I think I just need a second. And she's just going to kind of withdraw a little farther back and walk by herself.
Okay. At that point, Silas is going to make his way to the front and say, "Here's how this is going to go. I need you to tell me who you are. I need you to tell me what you're doing here. And I need you to do it now."
You just come and make demands of me.
I don't like to pull this card, but as the Count of Rind, yes, that is exactly what I'm going to do.
I suppose you live in a castle with walls, too.
It's a pretty recent
It's a cage.
thing.
Not fit for an animal.
Sure, that's fine. Who are you? And what are you doing here?
As if I have to answer myself to you.
Okay.
You come, you brandish weapons at me.
My weapon's away.
He nods at the others.
Perdita did not have a weapon. Perdita is just standing there in readiness.
Yeah, neither
So-
did Rod.
Solomon never drew his weapon in the first place.
You are afraid of a stick, old man?
You are afraid of an old man?
So, Solomon's gonna walk up and just hold his arms out and be like, "Okay, we've got off on the wrong hand here. And he looks at this individual and he goes, "I am terribly sorry for the situation that we are in right off the bat, but we're in a very complicated situation, battling back and forth with the someone who's trying to take control of Bedegar, and it's very unbeneficial for everyone who lives here, and we're just trying to find people to help.
While he is doing this, Perdita is going to go to Shanti's side and say in a hushed tone, Shanti, who is this? What is happening here? How can we help you?
When I was younger, this man was my teacher. And the last image I really remember is just seeing him covered in blood and fire. And my mommy went missing. And I was told that he had something to do with it. And it's been very confusing for me because all I remember from childhood is him being kind. But when that's the last image you have of someone, what are you supposed to do?
Oh, I understand. I know so well about last images. I know so well. You take care. You'll be all right. And then Perdita is going to move up beside Solomon and say, something happened with your apprentice, and she has a horrible fear that you did something awful to her mother. Excuse me, but you can understand that we will look out for our compatriot. It is awful of us to rush you and make demands, but we must know. Does she have a grievance against you in good cause?
Yeah, also, I'm going to show you this individual, friends. It's,
okay, thank you.
Yeah, so you see this fellow. He has a big scar along his left eye. And he says, a grievance. One has a grievance when one has a debt that is unpaid. I rather think our ledger runs the other direction. Your companion, though I did not know she even made it out alive, owes me a life debt, as it were.
We must know more of these things. Our situation is dire. Solomon is telling you true. We are fighting for all of Bedegar, and we need all the help that we can get. But we must also be true to each other. And what you are telling us is serious. She believes that you owe her a life debt, or the possibility of. Can we make a circle of truce? A circle of truce and honesty, and can we discuss this all in clarity, understanding that she is very upset and has been upset about this for years? Perdita wants to be as diplomatic as possible, as confident as possible too, in that, like as a diplomat, as someone who, that she would want to present herself as, we are important and this is important, but we need to take time to resolve this situation. If there's any kind of a role that I could do for that.
Go ahead.
I think Shanti, I think she's definitely in shock. But you're almost gonna, if anyone were to be paying attention, she's kind of shake out her shoulders a little bit and walk back up to the party and say, we can discuss these things and resolve this tension. But I think for now, for the good of our goals, we should just proceed forward. And I think she's going to make a show of putting away her quarterstaff and just going to, incline her head and apologize. I'm sorry for being rash. I respectfully, I'd like to keep my distance, and also would like to discuss these things with you at some point because we seem to be on very different pages here. But if you would have us, I think we should move forward. And she's still definitely going to be shaking a little bit, and so is her voice, but
I would not breeze past your belief that I had something to do with the death of the one you call your mother.
I wouldn't breeze past it. It's not my intention, for sure. I'm just not sure that this is the time or place for this discussion. But if you feel that's what's necessary to proceed, we can certainly have it. But maybe privately.
If you would prefer that. But I don't know what other business you have here, but I feel simply cannot overlook it.
Understood.
I don't mind if your companions are a part of that conversation or not, but I would have it before anything else.
Fair enough. And yeah, they can be a part of the conversation. I could actually use some support, I think, at the moment. So
Solomon's gonna nod at Shanty.
thank you.
Perdita steps back and lowers her head.
He sits back down by the stone and sort of like gestures to the grass around him.
Shanty will sit as well.
Do you remember what she used to call you?
I do.
It was not a term of endearment. She was well practiced at hiding her true intentions.
While that is so, she's certainly the closest thing to a mother that I had.
She I myself don't know all the details. It is my understanding that she had manipulated your real mother into some bondage. And she saw you had power. And much as she had your mother before you, in what little power she had, decided to wield it for herself. She said your mother owed her some debt. She planned to hold that over your head. Likely through machination, through the rest of your life.
I think Shanty is just going to, you'd see her start to visibly shake more again, and raise her voice and say, "That's not true. That's not how I remember. I just remember that she was my mother, and then I was taken from her."
Child, she sold you. You
What?
442 gold, 9 silver, and 4 copper was the price of your life. I'm sorry.
Perdita moves toward Shanty and puts a paw on her back.
I thought they had killed you. I sort of gestures at his scarred face. I barely made it out myself. And I never heard of you again.
Sold me to who?
I paid your debt. It's not one I would collect on.
Maybe you can reconcile that last image. Then I guess the scar makes sense with the blood, but I just remember the island being just engulfed in flame, and then next I know I was on the ship, and they the captain made it seem like you were responsible, and that you were the reason she was driven away. So I just don't understand.
The pirates attacked the island.
My family attacked the island. That tracks. That makes sense. And then you fled? Is that what happened? How is it that you were able to get out? And how is it I ended up there? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, even now, you do not always walk on legs, do you?
No.
They were upon us. And you took wing. I followed suit shortly after, but not before. Struggle exacted its price.
I see.
I do not want to hurt you. that I knew. She only ever saw you as a thing to be used. As she used others before you. And presumably since, if she still lives.
I don't know. I thought she was dead.
Do I believe this person?
Make an insight check.
I would like to do that also, if I might.
Sure.
I was just waiting for. I didn't want to interrupt.
Roz wants to make an insight check to see if this is the guy we've been waiting for.
Sure.
All right, I'm.
Okay, so in order here,
16.
Roz. It's been
12.
a minute. It's been several minutes. It's been long enough for one of the humans to leak from their eyes. You know, how they do sometimes. And no one else has showed up. So I think you're beginning to suspect that it might
That
be him.
he is very late.
Or I think with the 16, I think the rest of you, 16 up to 23, no, you don't detect any lying here. As you sort of look at him, you get the sense that the odd look that he gave Shanty to begin with was like deep surprise, one, to see her, and two, that she immediately like drew a weapon at him. And then all of you got real aggro at him, kind of, on Shanty's behalf. And so he was a little like, you know, like, these people just showed up here. One of them drew a weapon at me, who is a person that I know, who I didn't think our relationship was such that she should have done that. And then, you know, you were all kind of defending her, but it was like, he, you know, so he kind of was defensive, right? As you made many demands of him, he was defensive. But as he talks to her, I think you sense a sort of like genuine kindness in his voice and in his expression and demeanor. And he is trying to, you know, I think particularly you, Perdita, with that 23, see that he's like trying to navigate this gently. Like, he, I think, understands that what he's saying is like pretty, you know, he's sort of, it's just like he understands that this is like a hard worldview shift that he's dropping on somebody, if that makes sense. So he's trying to kind of like not just be like, oh, let's all be friends and let's be hunky-dory. He's trying to like very gently kind of do this without, you know, like, I think you get the sense that he thinks it would be worse if he were just like, oh, let's all hug. And you know, he's like, clearly this is taking time to process, so I'm slowly kind of working through this, if that makes sense. So yeah, you think he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out if I'd be too. Can I also make an insight check
Sure.
while very heavily in shock? Okay.
20. Yeah, I think on a 20, you definitely sort of have the same sense that obviously he's telling you like a radically different version of events than the one that you have been operating under for quite some time now. But you get the sense that he at least believes the version of events that he's telling you.
Okay.
I would like to detect magic at will.
Okay. That big rock behind him is like hella magical.
Great. But I can't detect anything coming from him in terms of, say, a curse or anything crazy?
No, I don't think so.
Great.
You don't think his staff is magical. You might detect like some spell components in a pouch or something, nothing crazy.
That's fine. What's going on with that rock?
Conjure heavy, but just heavy ancient conjuration magic.
Cool. All right, great.
Seeing the distress that Shanti is in, Perdita is going to say, these are hard words and a hard story to hear. And I believe you, sir, and I think that we must give Shanti some time. May we do this? And may we ponder this just for a moment, and to help you understand, sir, may we tell you why we are here? Could Count Rand, could you explain our situation while Shanti takes a moment? Because we have accosted him and made this, this situation that is probably a little upsetting for both of them, but there is a sense of urgency as to why we are here. Would that be?
Yeah. I mean, I'll turn to him and say, you are our guide to the elves, are you not?
I don't think you meant elves.
Oh,
I'm out of character.
Sorry.
I think you meant something else.
The Elgin Whites. Yeah, sorry.
He said, he says, if you seek to speak with the moot, I can take you. You may accompany me if you would brave the Elgin Woad. Do not wander, and do not let hope cloud your judgment. The Woad Wardens are less concerned with the affairs of men than are even my people. They think on a different scale than we do, and their speech is more akin to song or riddle than words. But if you wish to entreat them, you may.
I will turn back to Shanti and just say, are you okay? Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm. It's for the greater good.
Then let's go.
You are prepared for the mystery, and I shall take you there. He reaches into his pack and draws out a short, sort of squat stone flute and begins to blow on it. As his fingers move across the keys, no sound is produced. But the stone behind him begins to shake and vibrate. After a few moments, a doorway made of light appears in the crook of the archway. The interior is opaque, giving no insight into what awaits on the other side.
Who's first?
I think it is best that a human does not go first, as first impressions are very precious. I would volunteer to introduce the court of Ren.
Happily.
Roz takes a very deep bow, and you can hear her mutter as she, just before she crosses the precipice,
I was done waiting for him anyway.
Solomon's gonna follow in after Ross.
Shanti will go.
Okay.
Perdita will go with Shanti.
Silas will bring up the rear.
Okay. Okay. And Celobane, the druid, moves in behind you. Or next to you. And you all find yourselves coming out of this doorway into a clearing, some 80 feet in diameter, with nine large stones there, pretty much in the same orientation that you saw on the other side, as you come out of a near identical stone archway. However, no longer in a grassy plain, a circle of willow trees extends, surrounding this some 80 foot or so clearing, and well beyond beyond there, the trees sort of dark and twisting the forest extends in all directions. Oh, sorry. Actually, he doesn't follow you right away. That's my bad. I gotta read the adventure. And you come out the other side to find yourselves alone in the Elginwood. Well, actually, mostly alone. As it turns out, you now share the space with two hill giants, it would seem, sitting near the stones on the side of the clearing. They appear to be bickering. Well, what languages does everyone speak? Or does anyone speak giant?
I don't believe so, no. I do not.
Anybody?
Nope. I do not have comprehend languages.
Ooh.
Shoot.
One's going twice. Okay, well, in that case, as you guys come out of the stone, you see these two giants who appear to be sort of bickering back and forth. However, after a few moments, they turn and look at you and shout something in a language none of you understand. And hearing no answer in a language they can comprehend, I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative.
It seems like they don't speak common.
They do not.
Would we be able to take just a couple-minute break before we get
Sure.
into combat?
Yeah, we can do that. If you guys want to go ahead and roll your initiative so I can get the tracker set up.
Don't forget to click on your
Don't forget to click on your
person.
tokens.
Ooh. Look at that.
Okay, and and we're going to take a quick break, guys, then, before we hit this combat. Let's say, 9:05? It's kind of a long break, but that gives you guys plenty of time to step away.
Surely.
Okay. All right, guys, we will be back at about 9:05 Eastern Time. So that's about a 8-minute break, 7-minute break, something like that. So, very good.
See y'all soon.
Alrighty. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for indulging us our quick break here. Oh, I gotta move my camera again. Okay. We are back, and we are getting to it. So as you... Actually, I don't think that's the one I want. I think we want maybe this one. So you come out. There's this brief exchange where neither of you understand the other's languages, and then it becomes clear as they sort of reach down and pick up sort of giant clubs and begin advancing towards you that things are about to pop off, as the kids used to say. And that actually, as they are big and slow and lumbering. So, Silas, you have the drop. What would you like to do?
Excellent. I'd like to activate the Blade Song as a bonus action.
Okay.
Use 40 feet of movement to kind of crank myself over in this kind of corner and summon my inner Alan Jackson and sing "It's All Right to Be Little Bitty" and cast Polymorph on the northernmost hill giant.
Okay. What is that? A wisdom, charisma?
Wisdom. He's got to
Okay.
beat a 16.
Beat a 16.
Oops.
All right. That is a modified 1.
I'm going to
and
turn
you
him
said-
into a. I'm going to turn him into a beetle.
Okay. I don't know that I have a beetle. I'm going to just get spider stats.
Like a Volkswagen or
Yeah. It's all right to be a car.
And that was the north one?
That is correct.
Okay. Come on. Give me the... Okay, and we're going to grab
I mean
this.
that clears up a ton of space.
Okay, yeah, so you turn him into a beetle, which we will represent by the spider stats. I'm assuming they're basically the same. And
And I will
yeah,
yell
he
to
fails
the
that save.
group, do not step on the beetle. And
Okay.
That's my turn.
No.
Okay. All right, that brings us to Solomon. You are up next. One of these creatures has been eliminated from the battle for the moment. What would you like to do?
Solomon kind of rolls his shoulder and draws his great sword, and he's gonna bonus action cast Hunter's Mark on the Southern Giant, and he's gonna go in for it.
All right, Hunter's Mark.
Chugga chugga choo choo.
And we're going in for 2 attacks from Frostbrand.
Okay, let her rip.
Does a
Um,
19 hit?
Sure does.
All right. That is. Ignore that 11, but that's 13 damage.
Okay,
All
That's your
right.
hunter's mark.
Yeah, I forgot.
that's okay.
That's 19 damage.
It's more. Okay,
All right, I'm
Max
going to do a
Hunter's
second one. I doubt a 12 hits.
12 does not hit.
Yeah, I figured. That's my turn.
Okay. That brings us to Shanty. Who
Okie
is-
dokie.
There you go.
I fixed it. Sorry. Shanty's just going to go over and scoop up the beetle if possible.
Okay, now
Would that be a grapple check?
it would. I think I am gonna make you roll a perception on this thing because, like, you are sort of. It is a sort of grassy woodland clearing, right? And it is the size of it. Actually, it's not like a giant beetle. It's just like a beetle, right?
Okay.
So give me a perception check to see if you can clock this thing. 12
Yeah, I got a 12, yeah.
versus 21. So you go over to try and track this thing down. I'm not going to make you use your whole action, but you go over to look for the thing, and you just honestly can't find it. Quite. It's very small, and there's like branches and underbrush and stuff that it appears to be beginning to crawl through.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then I think she's just gonna like be picking up like 1 foot, and trying to make sure she's very carefully not stepping on this beetle.
Sure.
And just shout, "I can't find it!" And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Do you want to use your action to do anything else? Because that perception check is not going to take your action since you can't find the thing you want to grapple. So if you want to like do something to the other giant while you can or not, it's up to you.
Yeah, hit it with a spell.
Yeah, that's true.
Roz
Alright,
has sleep, so if you can chip the giant down, then Roz might be able to put him to sleep, and we can kind of peacefully end this.
Okay. Yep. Let's see.
Oh, and sorry, not to interrupt while you're thinking about what you want to do.
Sure.
How long does polymorph last?
Like an hour.
Oh, okay. So I don't have a very good.
Yeah.
That's 600 rounds of combat. So I don't think if we're here for 600 rounds of combat, I've really failed. That's a GM.
I'm here for it. It would take 7 days, but
Yeah, it would take forever.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Can I try to figure out? I can cast Moonbeam without hurting Silas. Yes.
Yeah, let's go grab the spell templates. Where's our moonbeam? You mean Solomon?
Yes. Sorry.
No, that's good. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so let's doop. And let me get this controlled by Okay. Okay. So that is the size of Moonbeam. Moonbeam is basically exactly the same size as this creature. So you can drop it on top of this creature exactly, and it won't hit Solomon. So
Fantastic. Well, that is what I would like to do. I'll go ahead and put it in.
okay, so when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there. So this will go off on its turn. Because it will start its turn there, and you will it'll make a con save versus 2d10 radiant damage.
Oh, sounds good.
And what level are you casting that at? Second level?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cast it a second.
Cool. Beautiful. Great. If there's nothing else from Shanty, that is Perdita.
Well, Perdita is, of course, ran in here, right? So there was movement up to my turn. So I don't think I can do steady aim. And I'm going to run, as a result of that, I'm going to run right up to him with my short sword.
Okay.
And I am going to probably stab him in the calf of the leg. But anyway, I'm going to stab him.
Yeah, this
with
thing
my
is something
short-
like 12 to 15 feet tall. This is a pretty big creature.
Aim upwards towards something a little more important, but I'm going to whack at it with my short sword.
Are you north of Solomon or south of Solomon? In terms of where you're moving to.
Well, I'm avoiding that other thing, so I'm right there. I should have moved it. I'm sorry.
There you go. All good.
Okay. And I think I hit it, didn't I? Did I?
I did not see your attack come through.
All right, let's see. Oh, I hit it in the wrong place. All right, short sword. Here we go.
Shit.
That is a 26.
Yeah, 26
hit.
hits for sure.
And now the sneak attack will show up automatically.
Yes. Whew.
And so I get the 16 and the 14, and
Good
I have
Straight
30
30.
points of damage.
Damn. It's a big hit.
Amazing.
Yeah, Solomon, get your numbers up, buddy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Having
My,
done
how the
that-
turntables.
Having done that, I am going to let's see, I moved
You were like
5,
here.
10, 15, 20. I've got that thing going though that as a bonus action I can dash, but that would be a attack of opportunity.
Right.
So I will just
You can also disengage as a bonus action.
well I can't that's what I'm going to do is disengage and
Okay.
do I have to move if I disengage?
If you're going to disengage, then
Yeah,
the
I'm
point
going
is to
to
move.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to move back to, well, let's see. I'm going to go right here to beside Lars and
Okay. Do you...
I disengaged to do that.
Yeah. You'll have to use your feline agility to move that far because you moved like what? 20, well, what is your movement speed?
Hold
Hang on,
on,
hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
30
I
feet.
was all finished, so I am.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. So 30 feet. So you move from here down to there was 15 feet. So back over to here is another... Oh, no, you have enough to do that. I was
Yeah,
wrong. Never
that's
mind.
fine.
You're good. All is well. Okay, so you moved in, you moved out, disengage, made your attack, big damage. That brings us to the big guy, who is going to sort of like grunt and groan. These things are absolutely dumb as hell. So he is going to make 2 Great Club attacks. Ooh, that's a crit. Ooh, and that's a 27. All right, so does a 27 hit your AC, Daniel? I'm sorry, Solomon.
I love that
Yes.
there's doubt.
All right. Roll the crit first. Oh, we're using crit rules for this, aren't we?
Yep.
All right, hang on, guys. I got to
no.
make sure that his crit is set up properly. Oh, it's not gonna... Okay, it's 3d8 plus 5. So it's going to do an extra 3. So it's going to do 24 off the top. So this is... I'm just going to roll it this way. 3d8 plus 5 plus 24. So that is 42 points of damage with the first attack. Those crits are nasty the other way. I gotta tell you.
Jesus.
Second attack.
Solomon can't take 10 more of those.
Second attack is only 12. He rolled extremely poorly on that second attack. Okay.
Did he
There it goes.
All right.
Sorry, my dice got like stuck on each other. It was weird in the animation. Okay, and he's not going to move because he's not smart enough to like tactically position himself closer to the other guys. He's just going to wail on the thing in front of him. He has an intelligence of real bad. Okay, so the other guy, we're going to add a turn. This is not a spider. This is the other one. What is it going to do? It
Sorry.
is extremely dumb. It's even dumber than it used to be.
Sorry, Pixel. Did he roll
Yes.
his con save for that moonbeam?
He did not. You're right. Thank you so much.
Great catch.
Con save. What's your spell save DC?
Sorry.
It's a 16.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
he
it's a
does
16.
make the save, but I think he just takes half damage.
Okay, cool. So,
Yes,
just
so roll
1d10.
2d10 and he'll take half of that.
Not
Okay.
gonna lie, that hill giant hit me hard.
Like a truck. Yeah. How's it feel,
Aw.
Daniel?
It feels amazing.
I'm not sure. We just went up to see Dylan the other day, and I guess he must have had one of your shoes in his house, and I accidentally put it on my foot, and I left one for you. So hey.
Thank you.
All right.
So it was 8, so 4.
Okay, so he takes a
Yeah.
total of 4 more damage.
Yep.
Okay, great. This spider is real dumb, so I'm gonna roll an even luck check to see what it does. 58. Okay, it is barely smart enough to try to bite Shanty. So it is going to make a bite attack.
Will that reveal its presence to Shanty?
It will. It will reveal its presence. That is a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. I need a Constitution saving throw from Shanty.
Well, just so we're clear, it is a beetle.
Oh, that's
Do
right. So
beetles
it
have
doesn't have the
poison?
poison. Nope. It's just going to do. So you take 1 point. I'm actually going to roll. I'm going to change it around. It's going to do a D4 instead of 1 because it has stronger jaws being a beetle.
Right.
So
It
you
does as
take
much as a dagger.
still just 1. You take 1 damage from the beetle.
Okay.
It has a nasty bite and sort of latches onto your, I don't know, calf or something. It's quite painful. Roz, you're up.
Roz is going to reach into her bag of kitty litter, which she always keeps on her hip. And
Of course, as you do.
before chanting to cast the sleep spell, she's going to use her bonus action to vicious mockery.
Okay.
I don't believe that it needs to understand what she says
That
in
is
order
correct.
to do it. So
Here comes a wisdom save.
DC 15.
He rolled an 8, so that's not going to do it.
Roz is just going to hold up her fistful of kitty litter and go, and then in a cloud of silicate dust.
Directly at the back of Solomon's head, which has just
Yep.
been hit quite hard. Solomon, like your eyes flash for a second. Your like bell is ringing a little bit as you just got absolutely clobbered, and then some cat litter hits you in the back of the head as it makes its way to try to put this creature to sleep. Go ahead and roll your dice.
So Roz, and I want to be clear, like Roz literally, it's a fistful of kitty litter. Before it was like a little dusting in her palm. She went like, and there was like a little cloud and it shimmered. This is a softball sized fist of kitty litter. I am casting this sleep spell at 4th level.
Oh,
Damn.
okay.
That is
52.
30. What is this? Oh yeah, so
Oh my
52
God.
points of non-lethal. Come on.
Who would like to guess how many hit points this giant has at this exact moment?
52 hit points.
You would be fucking right! Are you kidding me? Exactly. I shit you not, chat. Look at this. Look at this.
I figured it would take the whole
Exactly
bag.
52 fucking hit points. God damn. I fucking I can't even. That is okay.
There's like barely even a pinch left in her bag.
Is
Okay.
Pixel crying?
No, I'm fine. So he falls asleep. Shanty, you're gonna need to cancel your moonbeam, or he's gonna wake up immediately. I'll just tell you that.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay.
It's done.
You can drop concentration on spells as a free action anytime you want. Okay,
Great.
so you do still have this spider that attached itself to Shanty, but
That's
the
a
big
beetle.
yeah, the beetle. Thank you. But the big giant sort of like just sort of like sits down and like
He doesn't hit Solomon on the way down, does he?
no, I don't think so. I think he sort of like sits on his ass and then just sort of great. Anything else from Roz?
Roz
Son of a
is
bitch.
just no. Honestly, no. I ruined it. I should have ended on a high note.
All right, Silas, you're up.
All right, I'd like to skittle over here, and on the way passing Roz and Perdita say, well, do we gang up on it? I mean, is there any point in hurting this thing anymore, or just pressing on?
Well, where is that man that led us in here? Where is he?
I shout at the door. That's a great question.
What if these are his friends?
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to turn the other one into a bug.
I don't know about y'all, but my head hurts a little bit.
Oh, Solomon, did you not get one of the things of greater healing? Would you like the one that I have?
Okay, there's not
Yes.
enough time for this much conversation. So that's Silas's
That's
turn.
fair,
You ask.
yeah.
Silas basically asked a question: should we fight these things or leave? Anything else from Silas?
No, I don't want to wake it up, and
Okay.
I'm just going to hold concentration. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Solomon, you're up.
I don't want to do it, but I'm going to use all 35 points to lay on hands.
Okay, sure.
Solomon, you're glowing.
That's why. Oh man, that's going to be my action, and that
Okay.
puts me back to 50. I think. Yes, 50.
Nice.
Okay. Shanty, you have this beetle that has attacked you. It didn't grapple you or anything, so like if you want to just grapple it or brush it off or something, it seems like this other one's fallen asleep, and some of your friends are suggesting you leave, but it is up to you what you'd like to do with your turn.
Roz has an empty bag.
I would very much like that, please. I was trying to find a scrap of fabric that I could scoop this guy up with, but if you have a bag, that'd be great.
It's fresh out. Maybe just a kernel of litter at the bottom.
I'm a little mad at him. He can get a little dusty. It's fine.
And she gives you her kitty litter bag.
Okay, so you are going to make an opposed athletics check against this spider. This beetle.
Okay. So just roll at athletics.
Yeah, I'll tell you what you got to beat is a 13. Amazingly.
Fantastic.
This thing has,
Oh man, I got a 5.
if you have inspiration, you can spend it if you want. I'm not telling you what to do, but that is extremely funny. This thing, in order to get a 13, had to roll a 17.
I mean, I don't want to, but yeah.
I guess I should have.
I
Rolled its dex, which is higher, but that's I made my choices.
Don't waste it on this. We have
Oh.
we have 600 turns to capture a bug.
Well, but the sleep only lasts a minute, actually. So
Well, we'll still have 10 turns to get out of here, but we're still waiting on this guy anyway. Don't use your inspiration here.
We have plenty of time.
okay, so you go
Yeah.
to grab this
Well,
thing, and it's just a little bit too
Just
quick
ignore it.
as it jitters around. It like fell off of you after it bit you, and you're trying to grapple through. That would be your action to make that attack. Any bonus actions or anything else?
I just gonna shout like in clear frustration, like it fell off. Guys, help!
Okay, Perdita, you're up.
Perdita,
All
give
right,
her
well-
this bag.
Oh, also, if bonus mom, the Reams has tried to grant you inspiration an hour ago. Did you already have inspiration or no?
No, I
Okay.
saw that they did that. I thanked them for it
Gotcha.
actually.
Yeah, I
Um,
totally missed that. I was
So-
wrapped up in other stuff.
so Perdita is going to move over to where Shanti is, and is the bug still on Shanti, or the bug has?
No, I'm going to say at this point the bug is in the ground near Shanty.
Oh well. I don't know if I can. Well, I ran over to her. Okay, so Perdita is going to attempt to reach out her paws and scoop the ground to see if she can
Okay.
get it. Okay, so an
Yeah,
unarmed hunt.
first thing, make a perception check to see if you can see this thing.
Okay. Perception check from
You're gonna have to beat a
Perdita.
9, so it didn't roll real well.
Hidden bug.
Oh,
I rolled a 21.
Okay, so you can see it. You can then make an athletics check to try to grapple this thing, if you want to grab it.
Okay. Well, I'm having this problem. You know me and my character sheet. You know about that. So I've managed to get
Bonus
it all
one,
separated.
your computer's
from
plugged
each
in,
other.
isn't it? I just want you to check and make sure. We had a weird little. Okay, so it was just the internet for a second. All good.
Okay, so now I'm back
Athletics.
to my character
Yep.
sheet. So I want an athletics check. All right. You tell me what I rolled. I can't see it.
You got a 20.
20.
And this thing, I'm going to
Dirty
roll its
20.
dex this time instead of its strength. Ooh, only a 19. So close. So it's a hard fought battle for you. This thing really doesn't want to be caught, but you do manage to nab it in one of your paws, Perdita.
All right. And I'm going to hold my paws out towards whoever has the bag.
Yeah, Shanty has the bag. You can.
I have the bag. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. You can put it in there. I'm gonna let that. I'm not gonna make more
All right,
actions.
then I
happen,
drop it in the bag
so. Okay.
and say, ooh.
So you guys have basically 9 rounds left. Is there anything you want to do, or do you just want to get out of here?
Bounce.
What do you mean get out of here? You mean we run back?
Like get away from these guys?
Is the door still open
Yes.
and he's not coming through?
I mean, he hasn't yet, but it's only been about 12 seconds
Well,
since
I
you got
want to
here.
run over to the
Well,
door. Let's
I'm
see.
just saying because I thought he was like right behind me. So I was
Yeah.
wondering-
So the adventure specifies that he doesn't come through right away. It takes him a few seconds. So
Okay.
he
Well,
hasn't
so
showed
these
up
are-
yet.
Perdita wants to run. If we're out of initiative now or we're not.
Well, you only have a minute until this other guy wakes up, so you have enough time to decide you want to get away from this area and then hope this other guy can find you, or your situation's a little confusing because none of you speak giant.
Can
And
we
hear these
hide
things
behind
work.
one of the rocks?
That's a good idea.
Certainly try.
Maybe
All
that's
right. Well,
the
then
best
I would have.
option.
Then I'm going to do that. I'm going to hide.
isn't
Sure.
the other guy sitting non-lethally sitting on 1 HP? Sorry.
The beetle has 1 HP, and then it has whatever its giant HP was. The other guy has like 60 hit points left. He's just magically put to sleep.
Mm.
So
I mean, we could murk him, but I'm afraid that he might be like a friend of the druid.
Right.
Like the druid might speak giant.
True. Does Shanty
Well-
recognize
Okay.
this from her past? This hill giant from her past?
no.
No, they're completely unrelated,
Neither of these,
unfortunately.
all of that backstory happened many miles from here, long away.
I think that Perdita would dash behind one of the rocks, but it wouldn't be the rock close to the giant.
Correct.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
they couldn't hear me when I asked that. I was muted because I was adjusting my chair. Okay, so the plan is to hide and wait for. Okay, so we're just gonna go through. We'll skip these turns. Roz, you're first. I'm gonna assume you've got enough time to get wherever you want to get on the map. Go ahead and move yourself where you want to be, and roll me a stealth check.
I rolled 16.
Okay,
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And then just move yourself wherever you want to be.
I think maybe over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Silas, same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak over into a tree. Would you consider this dim light in the tree?
Yeah, I'll say sure.
Okay, I get advantage.
Okay.
17.
17.
Worth it.
Solomon.
Solomon's gonna hide over here and
Okay.
give a stealth check. Let me find it here.
With disadvantage
16.
from the armor is a 16. Okay.
That's awesome.
Shanty, you are holding one of these things in a bag. In an hour, it will turn back into a giant.
Yeah, Silas is whispering, "But don't squish the bag."
Oh, you're muted.
I won't squish the bag, I promise.
Okay.
But I'm also gonna come over here, I guess,
Okay.
and hide.
And are you taking the bag with you, or are you like leaving it there?
I'm still holding it, but I've
Holding
like
it.
closed the top very
So I'm
carefully.
just
so it's not
gonna
getting
bring
out.
it with you to represent that that's where that is. Okay.
Little
and then
friend.
Perdita.
All right. Well, Perdita is going to run across to down here. Did I get there? Did I do it right?
Yep, that's
yes.
fine.
Now you need a stealth check for that.
Yes, please.
And I cannot see chat, so please tell me what I rolled.
27.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay. 8 rounds left. Okay. Now let me real quick.
I love how we all just sort of looked at each other. There's a sleeping giant. Shanty's holding a bag with a beetle in it. We all just scattered.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I need someone to roll me a D10, please.
I can do it. A 2.
Okay. So only a few more seconds go by
Yay.
before the druid pops into the clearing, looks around. Let's see. He's going to do a perception check. Does not clock any of you. Clocks the giant asleep and goes,
Holy shit.
and he is going to try to sneak his way over to one of these. He's going to make a stealth check.
Can Roz see him?
Yeah.
Oh, can
He only gets
Roz
a
is-
5, so he's noisier than you would expect as he starts to head this way.
And I think that might be Roz's fault because she shouts in a loud whisper, "Was there anyone behind you?"
And as he comes through, you see the door closes, and he says,
No, what the fuck?
I'm gonna cast message. I said say, do you know this giant? Was he supposed to be here?
he glances over as he kind of like moves further over this way, and he says,
Damn it. It's these two chuckle fucks, Garud and Degruda. No, they're not my friends. I don't know them. We should get the fuck out of here.
Is there any point in? I'll cast message again. We could take him out pretty easy. Is that worth it?
I mean, it's not like they're protectors of the forest or anything. They tear down trees and kill things and throw rocks everywhere. So, sure,
Sorry.
honestly, real talk, I could go either way.
Can Shanty hear anything that's happening?
make
All
a
the way
perception
there?
check, because you are all the way across the clearing.
All the way across there.
No, could you know?
A
19. Yeah, I think you make out some of it.
Okay.
You probably make out most of it, I think. With a 19. That's because you're only 40 feet away, and it is a loud whisper. 60
Okay.
feet away, but
Okay. I guess she'll kind of stage whisper, "Should I squish him?"
Do not squish the bag.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it is now the moment of truth. We're going to go back to the top of initiative. I'm going to add this fool. And okay, he's right in the middle. Great. Good for him. And you got to decide, are you staying to fight or are you going? Because you probably got 2 rounds at this point before the sleeping one wakes up.
Correct.
Although if you attack him, he'll wake up sooner, right? So
Yes. I am going to walk up right behind him, right to where I think maybe a kidney is, and I'm going to hold my rapier right there, and I'm going to hold in my action for Solomon. I'm waiting on Solomon to wake him up.
Now let's see. Okay, and you're holding your action to attack?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, a creature that is asleep is
It's an auto crit.
For sure.
incapacitated. Well, it's not paralyzed, is it?
Incapacitated is, yeah.
It is unconscious. There we go. Yes, any attack that hits is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much just going to let Solomon behead it and then give it a poke.
Okay. All right, so you're holding your action for Solomon. Solomon, it's your turn.
Solomon's going to move 20 feet to this thing. And he's going to be like, all right, I'm normally not one for revenge, but this calls for it.
Okay. All right.
So, do I swing with
yes,
advantage?
you definitely have advantage.
All right. That's a 24 the hit.
24
I'm
hits.
Going to Divine Smite.
Oh, God.
It's 3 radiant damage.
Okay, and this is an auto crit, so we'll just add the crit damage. So you have 18
Plus the smite.
plus the smite,
Plus your
which
hunter's
is
mark, which you haven't
Oh
dropped.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yes.
get 6 for the hunter's mark, plus 1d6 for the cold damage, plus 12 for the slashing damage, plus 16. Okay, so you have. Is that 50 crit damage off the top? Good God. Okay, plus 3 plus 9 plus 2 plus 9 plus 6.
Can we say that Roz
79,
has also
okay.
given him bardic inspiration just for funsies?
He's not going to need it.
Okay.
That's 79 damage, and this thing had 52 exact hit points. So, yeah, you roll up on this sleeping giant and just snicker snack. Walk me through it, Solomon. What does this look like as you lay this massive creature to rest?
So Solomon probably walks up to it and he kind of like his head's kind of starting to clear up from after that clobbering he's taken. He goes, I'm normally not the kind of person to do this, and he raises the sword up and he's going to behead it. And
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so, and this thing is like sitting down, like, so you kind of like step up, and Solomon's a big guy. You can kind of barely reach, and you sort of swing your sword well over your head and decapitate this creature.
To which you see then right into the kidney of a beast without a head.
Yes. Yeah, so you would get to take your action. Obviously you hit it. It's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, that is Solomon's first attack. Anything else? Well, you can't really do anything else because the other thing is a bug. Anything else from Solomon?
Just in case this other bug gets crazy. Hold on, I wonder if it takes.
I think because the giant is dead, you can freely move your hunter's mark to a new creature.
It takes a bonus action.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Which I don't think you've used a bonus action so far this
I
time.
haven't. That's what I was.
But I also think you have to be able to see the creature, which is currently in a bag and therefore behind total
True.
cover. So
I was gonna shield the faith anyways to up my AC by 2.
Okay.
So.
Are they both concentration or no?
No.
Okay, so Shield of Faith is not?
Yeah, Shield of Faith is not concentration.
Okay.
Yeah, they are both.
They are. Okay, so do you want Hunter's Mark or Shield of Faith?
I'm gonna drop Hunter's Mark.
Drop Hunter's Mark. Get Shield of Faith. Okay, I'm gonna just give you this shield for Shield of Faith. We're going to take away Hunter's Mark. Beautiful. Okay, great. Any other movement from Solomon?
No.
Okay. Shanty, you are the whole keeper of the bag, the beetle bag. What would you like to do?
I would like to give the beetle bag over.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna walk up to Silas, hand beetle bag.
Okay.
Yay, because I got a bad idea and I'm gonna do it.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I-
Perdita, what would you like to do?
Well, Perdita at this point is a tad confused by the whole thing. We're looking at the bag with the beetle in it.
Yes, which has
Right.
just been handed to
And
Silas.
It's been handed to Silas. Okay.
Mhm.
So I think Perdita looks at Silas and says, if we kill it, will it turn back into the giant if we squish it?
Unless we do enough damage to really mess it up. And I have a great idea for that.
Well, I think that Perdita is going to ready her short sword in case anything turns into a giant and runs after anybody that she likes.
Okay. You will have to physically move yourself to where you think, because you'll only go off if one basically gets in within range
Well,
of you.
I've got that thing. I can do a thing. Okay, I can do a Is it skirmisher? Is that what it is? No, it's the one where I get to move a whole lot.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't hold movement. You can hold an action, but you can't hold movement and an action, right?
Okay, using my
So-
feline agility, I'm going to run up close to the center of action there
Okay.
and ready my short bow.
Okay. That works.
Okay, so I'm
so yeah,
moving
just go ahead
out
and move
to
yourself
where
to where
I
you'd
can
like to
see
be.
everybody. So I like race out to there,
Yeah.
and
okay.
I ready my short bow in case I see a giant from anywhere.
Okay, and Celobane is going to dip behind this thing and just sort of look around and be like, what the fuck? What are we doing? It's fine that you're killing them, but this plan is confusing. Fucking adventurers.
We have very unique methods.
Okay, and he doesn't get any saves on this polymorph. It just is until I think that's how polymorph.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
perfect.
just happens until I let him go.
Okay, Roz.
Oh my goodness. What is the Count's idea for dealing with this insect?
Oh, it's real stupid, but I'm gonna do it.
Do you need a jar of peas?
Yeah, everybody just get ready. And I'm going to
A bonus action, bardic inspiration on Silas.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna cast Dimension Door 500 feet straight up into the air
Okay.
and drop the bag.
Okay. So both you and the bag are 500 feet in the air now.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
Alrighty. Yeah. So Silas and the spider.
That way it lands directly where it is.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So tell me exactly. Are you standing right there and drop it right there?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I
Okay.
want it to land.
And then Silas. That was your action to cast that spell.
Correct.
Um.
How high are you now?
500 feet.
500 feet.
Okay. When you get within 60 feet of Roz, she can reaction feather fall you.
Well, that would be great. Except when I get into 60 feet, I will reaction feather fall myself.
Okay.
No worries.
Great. Okay. So Silas begins to fall. The creature begins to fall. And narrate that for me, I guess, as far as what happens to Silas here.
Oh, Silas is just in the air being like, this might be the dumbest thing I've ever done. But just like looking over the woad, like how beautiful it is. What am I seeing from up here?
You are seeing a beautiful forest spanning in all directions. The trees are sort of dark and tangled, but not in like an evil way, but just in sort of a like kind of primordial, natural forest. Like this is very similar to the forest, the woad up north with where Dalrath is, where you spent time with was that Elian? I forget how you say that.
Mhm.
And yeah, you
I
sort
can
of
see
begin
my
to
house
fall.
from here.
And I think you know, the soundtrack sort of changes as you contemplate just the ludicrousness of this plan. Just sort of like,
Reaper.
yeah, just hello, darkness, my old friend.
Just watching this bag, which is lighter than me, probably just kind of like.
Yeah, it has a little more wind resistance. Okay, so this thing is going to take max falling damage, which is let's see.
Was it?
It's a lot of d6.
Yeah, it's at least 10. It might be more than
I think
that.
it's 20 d6 falling damage.
Jesus.
So
That's
as
a
this
bit.
thing slams into the ground and takes 20 d6 falling damage, because this is your deal, Silas, roll me 20 d6 falling damage, please.
All right, how do I type
Awesome.
that into the
Backslash R or maybe /R
Okay.
space 20 d6.
Let's hope that actually works. Okay, great.
71. Okay, so the thing. And so Silas, as you sort of like hit Featherfall and begin to slowly pace your way down, this thing does not. And it smashes into the ground.
Something.
Okay, and it takes one less damage than this because it was a thing.
It was a spider, yeah. A
Okay,
beetle.
Silas, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Okay.
Because as this thing, well, I guess it hits before you do, but
Well,
you're
yeah.
gonna like land on top of it. So
Yeah. Okay. I should have advantage because of the blade song. Is that no? That's. Let me just check. Make sure.
Yeah. And this is not going to be for damage. This is going to be to see if you keep your footing, like landing halfway on top of this creature because it's so massive.
That's fine.
And it's going to take 71. It's going to take 70 damage.
Ooh, a
A
7.
Okay. So Silas, you do sort of get pushed into the next thing, and you kind of fall prone.
That's okay.
So you're. As you like, Silas, you like gently land down, and just at like the last second, you kind of realize like, oh shit, and you sort of see that that like the ground is now like what you thought was going to be flat ground is like a giant thigh, and you just sort of like miss your footing. It's like trying to land on a tree log, and you sort of fall
Just
into
beef it right at the end.
over.
So just for context, what they saw is because Silas didn't tell them what he was doing. He just disappears, like just gone. And then they see out of nowhere a bag and explode.
And it hits the ground, and it hits and it has wind resistance, so it doesn't really hit the ground that hard. But then it like explodes, and the bag is ripped and shattered in a second. And this massive giant like woof, right next to you, Perdita, almost kind of hitting you. And then Silas gently floats down and beefs it right at the end.
Yeah.
Because he can't really land on the thing.
He's just like, hit it.
And also, you can tell that this thing is like badly hurt by this.
Well, Perdita had readied her short bow, but of course he didn't turn into a giant until he landed, right?
Yeah.
So
That is
there's
true.
nothing about that. But do I get an attack of opportunity or
I mean,
anything?
it's not really an attack of opportunity, but I guess your readied action would go off.
Well, maybe he's big enough. So yeah, I will shoot my arrow at him
Okay.
as soon as I realize what is going on.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a flat roll because he's prone, but you're in melee, but it's a ranged attack, so we'll just call that flat.
So I just do my short bow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the wrong place again. I always am. Okay, how did I do?
21 hits.
That is a 21 to hit. So my short bow damage, and I get sneak attack, right?
you
Because
do.
so that is 25 points of damage.
Yeah, this thing is very badly hurt at this point. On death's door. So it lands and you thunk an arrow into its torso and it deeply penetrates. You can barely see the fletching on the arrow poking out between some of the like rolls of fat on its sort of bulbous giant belly.
Well, and then I can't use a bonus action because that as I read.
And for you hitting this thing, it's like hitting the broadside of a barn at this point. You basically just point in front of you and thwack.
All right.
And that was your ready action, Perdita. That brings us to Solomon.
Well, Solomon's going to attack and smite it. So is that with advantage or?
Yeah, it's with advantage. It's still prone.
Okay, well, here it goes. Does an 18 hit?
Sure does.
All right, I'm going to pop a divine smite with this
Okay.
and murder it.
Yeah, and that is
Like
the
30
second
more
one that you
points.
decapitate in 2 minutes. And that is going to bring us out of initiative.
Silas is just laying on his back, laughing like a moron. Be like, I have always wanted to do that.
Solomon walks up to Silas and he offers him a hand and he goes, "You know, you're pretty damn crazy."
And Celamane walks up to all of you, looks at this carnage, and just goes, pardon my Elvish, but what the fuck? And that's where we're going to call our session tonight. Good Lord. So next time we will deal with, and next time we'll just drag Anna into this and say that she just, was hiding the whole time. Who cares? It's fine. So thank you guys for playing. Thanks for being here. Thanks everybody for watching. We are going to go raid our good friend Vincent Page. He is doing a charity stream for the Trevor Project tonight. The Trevor Project is a charity that helps LGBT youth with suicide prevention resources, and he is doing that instead of buying or playing the Hogwarts Legacy game. So huge kudos to him and his community. That when I had left,
Hell yes.
they had already raised over $500. And last time they did this, they raised somewhere in the ballpark of like $2,500. And so they're not quite expecting to hit that again this time. Because last time he did a whole like 12-hour stream or 24-hour stream or something, kind of crazy. But yeah, they're definitely doing that this weekend instead of participating in the launch of the Transphobe game. So, like I said, huge kudos to him. But before we go, we're going to remind you who we are, starting, of course, with Bonus Mom.
Well, I am Bonus Mom, and I played Perdita, the Tabaxi Rogue, tonight. And, well, it was a lot of fun. I did a whole bunch of damage. I should be back Sunday afternoon on my Bonus Mom Twitch talking with Nerdy Teacher. We're going to be working on, I can't remember. I think it might be a cleric. If it's not a cleric, it's somebody else. She's going to help me build a character. So that should be this Sunday. Then I am on TikTok live Monday through Friday, 9:30 in the morning till 11:30 or 12, basically running my mouth and visiting with everybody and talking about wonderful things and not so wonderful things and supporting each other. Look forward to seeing you there.
Awesome, possum. Kyla.
Love that, Bonus Mom. Hey, pals. I'm Kyla. I've played Shanty tonight, and tonight was a hell of a ride. Thank you for being here for
Got
it.
that deep backstory going on.
And then some nonsense.
That patented pixel bullshit there.
Patented pixel bullshit.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Daniel.
I'm Daniel. I'm playing Solomon. Guys, sometimes you hit like a truck. Sometimes you get hit like a truck. It's D&D. It happens.
I do feel better now. I do. All the ill will from the last fight has somehow left my body. I won't say exactly how it left my body, but it did indeed leave it.
It works. And that's it for me.
As they say, friends, sometimes you get what's coming around, and sometimes you are what's coming around. So, all right, and Jesse.
Hey, yeah, I am Jesse. I played the Flying Silas. When you're done over here watching all this great content, you can switch on over to SpectroSofa at spectrosofa.youtube.com. We just passed 14K subscribers, so I'm shitting my pants about that.
GG's.
And please watch my Abridged series. I work really hard on it. More content should be coming really soon. And other stuff, but yeah. All right. Yeah, but thank you very much. Happy to be here and can't wait for 2 weeks from now.
Awesome. And of course, last but not least, Beast once again.
Hello, I am Beast. I played Rozhiskers, the Tabaxi Valor Bard. Thank you for being here. And at the top of the session, Pixel mentioned that there may be more streams coming to AOA. And I'm still trying to get my stuff together, but I hope to be one of those streams. Just a little mini announcement, which I hope to have more details on soon.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, and I guess it's appropriate given that it's this stream, but we're hoping that those streams will feature the warfare system that we will be using and have used in these adventures. So if you're listening to this and you have enjoyed watching us do the battles at the end of Siege of Castle Rend or the beginning of this adventure, they will be streams based on that system, but not these adventures, sort of in Beast Homebrew world. I feel comfortable we can sort of announce that, I think, if that's cool with you. So, if you like this kind of content and this tactical warfare stuff, it will be featuring that stuff. So that's very cool.
Yeah, hoping to put that together, and I will be recruiting in the Discord with more details. So come hang out in the Discord.
That's awesome.
And that is Bonus Mom's Tavern in the Discord. And if you need the link to it, I think it probably shows up in here every so once in a while, but it's also available on the link tree on Bonus Mom's TikTok homepage.
Yes, and also, if you're listening to this, chances are that you're listening to this on the podcast or on YouTube. It's in the episode descriptions in either place as well. We're trying our best to make it easy for you guys to find us. We really are. And I, of course, am Pixel. I have been your dungeon master today. I have been your flattened, sleepy giant boys, as well as your slightly affronted older elven druid men. That has been my role today. And, of course, your chair mimic. So, we do a little bit of everything here at Age Designer. I do most of the GMing, although hopefully soon not all of the GMing and game running and show running here at Age Designer, as well as the admin of our Discord, where you can join us and play D&D. We actually have 5 or 6 active DMs right now posting games, of which I am one sometimes when I can fit them in. And we have new games popping up from time to time and all sorts of stuff. So definitely if you're hearing this now and you've enjoyed listening to our actual play content and you think, gee, these people seem like they're fun kind of people to play D&D with, there's more people just like us in the Discord, and you can play with those folks. And possibly small numbers of us from time to time. So that's a very fun time. And then you can also find me here at twitch.tv/hammerandpixel, where I have been playing Breath of the Wild. And I will continue to do that for, I guess, until I finish that. And that is it for me. So friends, thank you so much for listening. And I appreciate all of you. And we are going to go raid our good buddy Vincent Page. Once the song is done with the intro here, definitely go shoot them some follows and, no pressure, but if anyone wants to donate, it's a great cause, and we hope that you enjoy being over there. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song